I'm Jody Laflen, and this is my Week 10 reflection video. I've really enjoyed doing such a deep dive into qualitative research. What has really surprised me are the great depths and discourse involved in the many facets that make up the science of qualitative research. Not since my days in anthropology have I seen such strength in theories and philosophies and principles. Given the career pathways being pursued by me and my classmates, there are many factors to take in away from 519 that we still must figure out how to translate into industrial application after we graduate, especially those of us who aren't specifically going into research roles and who don't know exactly what our roles will be and how qualitative research will fit into them. When I started out in my undergraduate education many years ago, I used exclusively qualitative research, but my many ensuing years in industry demanded that I use quantitative research over qualitative, and I'm afraid I fell a little bit out of practice. This class really helped to reinvigorate my brain and my excitement for qualitative research. Some ways that have helped me parse out what we've learned this quarter and how we might apply it later on are the discussions and fig jams we've done with the readings after annotating the readings on Perusall. The fig jams allowed us to connect our ideas, questions, and observations in order to formulate bigger and overarching ideas of how we might later apply methodologies, ethical considerations, critical theory, or varying approaches to participate studies in our own work. Individual assignments, like the methods slides, allowed us to discover deeper details on a method to find an article we might relate to in order to present that method effectively to the class to make a resource of our own. These really helped me to digest information we were reading and discussing and will undoubtedly make more of an effective HCI research of me once I'm back in the workforce, should a research role be significant in my job. While I'd been familiar with participant consent forms in prior research, I'd never really learned about the specificities of participant rights and true considerations of confidentiality that researchers must respect, not to mention IRBs and their role in our research. Assignments like the city training and developing our own consent forms for our group projects really made it so that I will not soon forget to be prepared for participant studies in the future, no matter what role I play in any company where I'm conducting design work. Having the knowledge and deep ability to conduct effective qualitative studies and to be able to really connect with participants on a positive ethical level, I truly believe is the right way to approach participant-focused research. So, what has changed and what has stayed the same? There are some elements of research studies that I've always adhered to, such as timelines and recruitment strategies, and evaluating the goals of a study to determine the most appropriate approach for interaction with participants. However, in our research project, I learned to really focus first on which principles, methodologies, epistemologies, and methods will be likely for the most useful for the kind of study that I'm conducting. These created the guidelines and the structure, essentially the foundation for the study. And I hadn't done that very consciously before. In order to achieve the most useful and effective data for analysis towards formulating the kinds of findings we've been aiming at the beginning of the study, that foundation was highly necessary. This class has shown me the missing puzzle pieces that were making my previous approaches to research studies too thin.